You've been lied to. It sounds like something out of a conspiracy movie, right? But what if I told you that behind every good vibes only mantra and every think positive slogan, there's a hidden energy manipulation secret that powerful forces don't want you to know about? In today's video, we're diving deep into the underbelly of modern life, a journey into how our thoughts, emotions, and even our everyday habits are being subtly controlled by forces both ancient and modern. Let's be real. Every day we hear catchy phrases about positive thinking and manifesting our dreams. Yet, if that were all there is to it, wouldn't everyone be driving fancy cars, living in mansions, and beaming with endless joy? Instead, many of us feel stuck, frustrated, or even drained, despite our best attempts at affirmations. So, what's really going on? How did a system that once held deep wisdom become reduced to a hollow, empty slogan? Today, we're going to expose the truth behind these manipulative energy tactics. We'll explore how ancient civilizations knew the power of energy manipulation and used it for sacred purposes, and how modern society has taken those insights, twisted them, and used them to control us in ways we might not even notice. We'll mix stories from history with cutting-edge ideas from science, neuroscience, and even quantum physics to show you how the power of energy and consciousness is being harnessed, manipulated, and sometimes even exploited. By the end of our journey together, you'll see that it's not just about thinking positive or repeating your favorite mantra. It's about understanding the forces at play, learning how to break free from the shallow promises of quick fixes, and taking back the power of your own energy. This isn't just a wake-up call. It's an invitation to reclaim your personal power and step into a deeper, more authentic way of living. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let's start peeling back the layers of deception that have been keeping you in the dark. Welcome to your awakening. Let's start with a hard truth. Everything you've been told about manifesting your dreams is only part of the story. For decades, the idea of energy manipulation was wrapped in a pretty package, simple, catchy, and easy to digest. You're told that if you just think positive thoughts, the universe will rearrange itself in your favor. But here's the kicker. That idea, as seductive as it might be, is just the surface. What most people don't know is that there's a deeper, more sophisticated system at work, one that hides behind the simplicity of good vibes. Think about it. If manifesting your desires was as easy as reciting a few affirmations, wouldn't the world be filled with perfect, conflict-free utopias? Instead, we see society plagued by anxiety, fear, and confusion. The truth is, our energy is being manipulated by forces that know exactly how to exploit our vulnerabilities. Let's break it down a little further. Imagine your mind is like a radio. When you're tuned into the right frequency, you pick up clear, meaningful messages. But if there's static, old fears, unresolved trauma, negative self-talk, the message becomes garbled, and no matter how hard you try to listen, you can't catch that perfect signal. That static is not a random annoyance. It's a symptom of an energy system that's been hijacked by hidden agendas. These agendas aren't just the work of self-help gurus selling you the latest miracle course. They're part of a broader design, a system that uses our emotional energy as a form of currency to control our thoughts, behaviors, and even our choices. For example, big brands and media companies have learned to tap into our emotions, stirring up fear or desire at just the right moment so that we make decisions that benefit them, not us. And politicians? They know that keeping the collective mood in check makes it easier to control the narrative. It might sound like we're living in a dystopian science fiction movie, but this isn't far from reality. Every day, algorithms and carefully crafted media messages guide our emotions. We're being fed pre-digested, safe information that keeps us distracted and prevents us from digging into the real issues. Meanwhile, the truth, the raw, unfiltered truth about how energy really works and how it's being used to control us, remains hidden behind layers of convenient lies. When we peel back these layers, we find a complex web of deception. It's not just about using affirmations to get rich or find love. It's about a deep systemic manipulation of our energy, one that has roots in ancient practices, but has been repackaged for the modern world. In the next sections, we'll explore how ancient civilizations mastered this art and how the techniques have been adapted, sometimes even distorted, in today's society. Historical perspectives, ancient wisdom, and manipulative secrets. Before smartphones, before billboards and viral memes, there was a time when the secrets of energy were woven into the very fabric of everyday life. Back then, ancient civilizations understood that the power to shape reality was not something to be taken lightly or reduced to a catchy slogan. Instead, energy manipulation was an art, a sacred practice that intertwined the spiritual, emotional, and physical aspects of existence. Today, we're diving deep into those ancient methods and their hidden secrets, revealing how they were designed to harness the natural flow of energy, and how that very wisdom has been twisted into something altogether more superficial in modern times. Long before modern technology, our ancestors believed that the universe was a living, breathing entity, one that communicated with us through signs, symbols, and carefully crafted rituals. In ancient Egypt, for instance, the Great Pyramids were not merely monumental tombs for pharaohs. Many believed they were sophisticated energy centers built to align with cosmic forces. The Egyptians practiced Heka, an art of magic and ritual that involved the precise use of words, gestures, and symbols to tap into and direct the unseen energies of life. Heka was far more than incantations. It was an integrated system of healing, protection, and transformation. Priests and priestesses would conduct elaborate ceremonies that required participants to cleanse their hearts and minds before stepping into a ritual space where energy was intentionally manipulated. This wasn't a quick fix or a shallow pep talk. It was a deep, transformative process that demanded commitment and reverence. Traveling east to ancient India, you'll find a similar depth of understanding in the practice of Sankalpa. The term itself signifies a sacred intention or vow, but in practice, it was much more than a wish or a fleeting thought. In Vedic traditions, setting a Sankalpa was a deliberate act of aligning one's inner will with a higher cosmic order. It involved not just vocalizing a desire, but also meditating, fasting, and often engaging in a series of rituals designed to purify the mind and body. The idea was that once your inner world was cleansed of negative patterns and old emotional scars, your intention could manifest with clarity and precision. It was a full-body, full-spirit commitment, a method that demanded self-examination, humility, and the willingness to confront one's shadows. In this context, energy manipulation wasn't a trick to get rich or famous. It was a sacred pathway to self-realization and cosmic alignment. Over in the Andean regions of South America, ancient shamans practiced a concept known as Aini. This principle of reciprocity wasn't just about giving and taking in a mundane sense. It was about maintaining a cosmic balance. Every action in the physical world had to be matched by an equal energetic investment. For the Andean peoples, manifestation was a delicate dance, a continuous negotiation with the forces of nature. Whether it was through offerings, dances, or chants, every ritual was designed to ensure that nothing came for free. The energy you sought to attract had to be earned through a series of intentional, mindful acts. This understanding fostered a deep respect for nature and a recognition that every element of life was interconnected. In a world where every success was seen as a result of hard, intentional work with the energy of the cosmos, the idea of an effortless, good vibes mentality would have been unthinkable. Even further back, ancient Chinese traditions embraced a comprehensive system of energy work known as qi. The Chinese believed that qi was the vital force that flowed through everything, living beings, the weather, even inanimate objects. Practices like Tai Chi and Qigong weren't just exercises. They were ways to harmonize one's inner energy with that of the environment. Acupuncture, herbal medicine, and other aspects of traditional Chinese medicine were all part of a larger worldview in which maintaining balance and flow was essential for health and well-being. These practices demanded a profound understanding of both the body and the natural world. The goal wasn't merely to ward off illness, but to achieve a state of energetic equilibrium where the mind, body, and spirit could work together seamlessly. The ancient world was replete with such examples of deep, intentional energy work. What's striking is how different these methods are from the modern adaptations that have become popular today. In our current age, you're bombarded with messages that reduce these intricate practices to a series of quick fixes. Think positive, and you will receive, they say, as if a few well-chosen words are all it takes to realign your life. But the ancient masters understood that true energy manipulation required more than surface-level positivity. It required a willingness to confront and work through pain, trauma, and the darker aspects of the human experience. They knew that the journey inward, facing one's own vulnerabilities and shadows, was the only way to truly harness the power of energy. The ancient traditions taught that before you could hope to change the external world, you had to start with an internal revolution. Whether it was the rigorous meditative practices of Buddhist monks or the shamanic rituals of indigenous peoples, every path emphasized that the seeds of transformation were planted deep within the human psyche. For instance, Tibetan Buddhist practices didn't merely focus on chanting mantras. They involved complex visualizations and meditations that required years of dedicated practice. These rituals were designed to dismantle the barriers between the individual self and the collective consciousness, fostering a profound sense of unity with the universe. In many of these traditions, there was also an inherent skepticism toward superficial displays of spirituality. The wisdom passed down through the ages was clear. If you want to tap into the true power of energy, you have to be willing to invest in the hard work of self-transformation. It wasn't enough to simply recite a mantra or decorate your living space with inspirational quotes. The process was holistic, integrating body, mind, and spirit, and required consistent effort, discipline, and, most importantly, an honest confrontation with one's own inner reality. Consider the role of rituals in ancient societies. These weren't just ceremonial acts, they were transformative experiences. Rituals like the Native American sweat lodge or the Sufi whirling dervishes weren't performed merely for show. They were meant to dissolve the boundaries between the individual and the divine. In the sweat lodge, participants would enter a heated, enclosed space to purge toxins and emotional baggage through intense physical and emotional release. The process was both cathartic and purifying, clearing the way for new energy to flow freely. Similarly, the Sufi practice of whirling was a moving meditation, a physical embodiment of the spiritual journey that allowed practitioners to lose themselves in the rhythm of the universe and, in doing so, tap into a deeper, more authentic sense of self. Even the act of storytelling in these ancient cultures served a purpose far beyond mere entertainment. Myths and legends were repositories of deep wisdom, encoded with the lessons of energy manipulation and the secrets of the cosmos. Stories of gods and heroes weren't just fanciful tales, they were allegories for the inner struggles that every human being faces. They conveyed the message that in order to harness the true power of energy, one must embark on a heroic journey of self-discovery and transformation. The challenges faced by these mythic figures were symbolic of the battles we all fight within ourselves, the fight against fear, the struggle to overcome limiting beliefs, and the quest to achieve balance in a chaotic world. What is perhaps most fascinating about these ancient practices is the emphasis they placed on community and shared experience. Unlike today's solitary, screen-driven self-help routines, the traditional approaches were often communal. People gathered together in sacred spaces, be they temples, communal fires, or natural sanctuaries to share in the collective energy of ritual. This community aspect wasn't just about social bonding. It was an essential part of the energy work itself. The belief was that when individuals come together in genuine connection, their collective energy creates a resonance that can transform entire communities. The power of a group ritual, with its synchronized chants, movements, and meditations, was seen as far greater than the sum of its parts. It was a vivid demonstration of the idea that energy is not confined to the individual. It's a dynamic, shared force that binds us all. In stark contrast, modern interpretations of energy work have largely lost this sense of community and depth. Many contemporary self-help movements focus on individual success and personal gain, divorcing the practice from its broader social and spiritual context. While there is still value in personal transformation, the reduction of these practices to individual mantras or quick-fix rituals strips away the communal and transformative power that ancient traditions held dear. It's as if the soul of energy work has been commodified and sold back to us in the form of trendy apps, inspirational posters, and social media challenges that rarely scratch the surface of what true transformation entails. Yet, there is a growing movement among those who seek to reclaim the depth of ancient wisdom. Across the globe, practitioners and seekers are coming together to revive lost techniques and integrate them into modern life. They're combining the best of both worlds: the ancient understanding of energy as a sacred, holistic force, and the modern insights from science and psychology that validate these practices in new ways. For example, mindfulness and meditation have become mainstream, but there's a push to go deeper, beyond the surface of stress reduction into the realm of profound inner transformation. Workshops, retreats, and community gatherings are now being organized to teach not just how to think positive, but how to undergo a real energetic detox that addresses the root causes of imbalance. In many ways, this revival is a response to the growing recognition that the quick-fix mentality of modern society isn't working. We're seeing more and more evidence, both anecdotal and scientific, that suggests real, lasting change comes from an integration of body, mind, and spirit. The ancient practices remind us that every habit, every ritual, and every moment of introspection is part of a larger tapestry of energy that, when woven correctly, can lead to profound healing and transformation. Looking back at these historical perspectives, one can't help but wonder why these deep, transformative methods were sidelined in favor of simpler, more digestible messages. The answer might lie in our modern obsession with speed, convenience, and instant gratification. In an age where everything is a click away, the slow, deliberate process of self-transformation can seem outdated, even inefficient. Yet the price of quick fixes is often the loss of something essential, a connection to the deeper currents of life that have sustained humanity for millennia. So, as we reflect on the ancient wisdom of energy manipulation, it's clear that these traditions offer us more than just a way to manifest our desires. They provide a blueprint for living in harmony with the natural order of the universe, a reminder that true power comes from within, nurtured by discipline, community, and the willingness to face life head-on. They challenge us to reject the superficial promises of modern self-help and to embrace a richer, more nuanced approach to transformation. One that honors the full spectrum of human experience, from the deepest sorrows to the highest joys. In the end, the lessons from ancient civilizations are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. They urge us to look beyond the surface of our daily routines and to recognize that our lives are part of a much larger, interconnected system of energy. When we tap into that system with intention and reverence, we not only transform ourselves, but also contribute to the healing and evolution of the world around us. The manipulation of energy, when done with integrity and deep inner work, becomes a tool for liberation rather than control, a secret that, once uncovered, can empower us to create a reality that is truly our own. As we journey forward, let these historical perspectives serve as a powerful reminder. Real change isn't about the latest trend or viral mantra. It's about reconnecting with the profound, timeless wisdom of those who came before us. Their practices were not simply rituals to be observed, but dynamic processes that engaged the whole person, inviting transformation from the inside out. And as we rediscover these secrets, we can begin to build a future that honors our true potential. One where energy is not something to be manipulated by external forces, but a sacred resource that we learn to steward with care, compassion, and deep respect. Therein lies the true power of ancient wisdom, a power that transcends time and challenges the modern notion that energy can be commodified, simplified, or exploited. It's a call to return to a more balanced, integrated way of living, where every thought, every action, and every intention is aligned with the greater flow of life. And perhaps, in that return, we'll finally find the secret that has been hidden in plain sight all along, that the energy we seek to control is the very force that can set us free. Modern manipulation techniques, the illusion of free will. Imagine waking up every morning and feeling that your choices, your moods, and even your desires are not entirely your own. In today's world, the idea of free will is under constant siege, not by some distant dictator or shadowy organization alone, but by a web of digital feeds, slick marketing strategies, and carefully designed technological systems. Every day we're exposed to messages that promise freedom and empowerment, yet subtly steer us in predetermined directions. Let's explore how modern manipulation techniques have evolved to create the illusion of free will, leaving us to wonder if our decisions are really ours or just the result of a massive, invisible hand guiding us from behind the scenes. Think about the last time you reached for your phone. Almost instantly, you were hit by a barrage of notifications, social media updates, and personalized ads designed to catch your eye and pull you deeper into a cycle of engagement. In our hyper-connected society, our devices have become both our window to the world and the very tools that shape how we think and feel. The moment you tap on an app, algorithms kick into gear, predicting your interests and curating a feed meant to keep you scrolling, clicking, and consuming. This isn't just about convenience, it's about control. The same technology that makes our lives easier also ensures that we remain captive to a digital environment, engineered to capture our attention and, in doing so, mold our choices. At the heart of this manipulation is the art of personalization. Companies spend billions of dollars analyzing our online behavior, what we click on, how long we linger on a post, even the words we type in search bars. All this data is used to build a detailed profile of who we are, what we like, and what will get us to take action. Once these profiles are established, they become the basis for targeted advertising and content suggestions that feel uniquely tailored to our interests. But this tailored experience comes with a catch. It reinforces our existing beliefs and desires, trapping us in a feedback loop that limits exposure to diverse perspectives. Instead of exploring new ideas or challenging our preconceptions, we are fed a steady diet of content that confirms what we already think, making it increasingly difficult to break free from the algorithmic echo chamber. Beyond the individual level, these digital manipulation techniques have profound implications for society as a whole. Political campaigns, for instance, are now heavily reliant on micro-targeted messages designed to sway opinions and mobilize voters. By leveraging detailed data on personal beliefs and social networks, political operatives can craft messages that speak directly to an individual's fears and hopes. This means that while you might think you're making a free, independent choice at the ballot box, much of your decision-making process has been preconditioned by repeated exposure to tailored political propaganda. In many ways, this level of manipulation blurs the line between persuasion and control, making it increasingly challenging for citizens to discern their own genuine opinions from those implanted by external forces. Another major player in the modern manipulation arena is the world of digital marketing. Today's advertisers are not just selling products, they're selling lifestyles, emotions, and identities. The concept of brand storytelling has taken hold, where every ad is crafted to evoke a specific emotional response. Whether it's the nostalgia of a simpler time, the thrill of adventure, or the promise of transformation. These stories are designed to connect with you on a visceral level, tapping into deep-seated desires and insecurities. As you watch a commercial that tugs at your heartstrings, you might feel a sudden surge of hope or longing, even if you don't consciously understand why. That emotional response is not accidental. It's the result of years of research into what triggers your deepest motivations. In this sense, the modern marketplace is less about choice and more about shaping desire. The illusion of free will is maintained by making you believe that your purchasing decisions are entirely your own, when, in reality, they are the end product of carefully engineered emotional triggers. Technology doesn't stop at advertising. Artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning have become indispensable tools for those who want to influence human behavior on a massive scale. With every online search and social media interaction, AI systems learn a little bit more about you, gradually building a comprehensive picture of your personality. This data is then used to determine not only what content you see, but also how that content is presented. For instance, the order in which news articles appear on your feed can be manipulated to emphasize certain viewpoints or emotions. In extreme cases, these systems can create filter bubbles, where you only encounter information that aligns with your pre-existing beliefs, further entrenching you in a self-reinforcing cycle. The very design of these systems gives the illusion that you are making free choices, while in reality, your environment is carefully curated to nudge you towards specific outcomes. Social media platforms are perhaps the most visible example of this manipulation in action. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are designed to keep you engaged as long as possible. Every like, comment, and share is meticulously tracked, and the data is used to determine what content is most likely to capture your interest. This creates a never-ending cycle, where the more you engage, the more you are exposed to content that reinforces a particular mood or mindset. It's a form of digital dopamine. The immediate gratification you get from a notification is harnessed to keep you hooked, even if it means sacrificing your long-term well-being. The sense of autonomy you feel when you scroll through your feed is a carefully constructed mirage, a subtle deception that keeps you tethered to the platform, even as it drains your energy and attention. One of the more insidious aspects of modern manipulation is how it exploits our natural psychological vulnerabilities. Humans are wired to seek out social approval and validation, and digital platforms know this all too well. They use likes, comments, and shares as currency in a social marketplace where your self-worth is measured by the approval of others. This constant need for external validation makes you more susceptible to manipulation, because you begin to base your decisions not on your own inner voice, but on what will earn you the most likes or positive feedback. The result is a society where authenticity is sacrificed in favor of popularity, a digital environment that prioritizes surface-level interactions over deep, meaningful connections. Moreover, modern manipulation techniques often play on the fear of missing out, FOMO. Every notification, every post about someone's latest achievement is designed to trigger a sense of urgency and inadequacy. This creates a perpetual state of anxiety, where you feel compelled to keep up with the latest trends, news, or social updates. In this way, the illusion of free will is further reinforced by the need to constantly engage, as if your freedom depended on being part of the digital conversation at all times. FOMO drives you to check your phone repeatedly, distracting you from your own inner life and reinforcing the power of external forces over your personal energy. In the realm of entertainment, streaming services and video platforms use similar tactics to hold your attention. The autoplay feature on platforms like YouTube or Netflix is designed to eliminate the gap between videos, ensuring that you keep watching without even thinking about it. This seamless transition from one piece of content to the next gives you the feeling of choice, but the truth is that the selection is carefully curated based on your viewing history. The more you watch, the more the system learns about your preferences, and the more it limits your exposure to a narrow band of content. It's a digital conveyor belt of pre-approved narratives, all designed to keep you in a state of passive consumption. In this environment, the notion of free will becomes increasingly abstract. Your decisions are no longer the result of deliberate thought, but of an algorithm designed to maximize engagement. Even our physical environments are being shaped by modern manipulation techniques. Consider the rise of smart homes and wearable technology. These devices promise to give you more control over your environment, tracking your sleep patterns, monitoring your heart rate, and even suggesting healthier habits. On the surface, these tools appear to empower you by providing personalized feedback. However, the data they collect is often used to further refine the algorithms that control everything from the ads you see to the products you're encouraged to buy. The promise of personal freedom is intertwined with a trade-off. In exchange for convenience, you relinquish a degree of autonomy as your life becomes increasingly data-driven. Your daily routines, your health, and even your social interactions are all subtly guided by a network of digital systems that are more interested in keeping you engaged than in fostering true independence. One cannot discuss modern manipulation without addressing the role of big tech companies in shaping public opinion. These companies wield immense power, not just because of their technological capabilities, but because they control the flow of information on a global scale. Through platforms that billions of people use daily, they decide which news stories become viral, which political messages gain traction, and which cultural trends dominate our conversations. It's a form of digital gatekeeping, where the illusion of free will is maintained by the belief that you have access to all viewpoints, even as the underlying algorithms subtly filter and prioritize content to suit specific agendas. The narrative you see is not a complete picture of reality, but a carefully constructed mosaic designed to influence your perception of the world. Perhaps the most startling aspect of these manipulation techniques is how seamlessly they integrate into our lives. We rarely notice the invisible strings that pull at our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors because they have become so normalized. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, your interactions with digital devices are interwoven with the processes that guide your decision-making. The convenience and comfort of modern technology make it easy to overlook the fact that your sense of autonomy is being gradually eroded by systems that prioritize engagement over empowerment. This is not to say that technology is inherently evil. Rather, it's a powerful tool that can be used to enhance our lives or to control them, depending on who holds the reins. It's also important to consider the social implications of this pervasive manipulation. When large segments of the population are subtly guided by algorithms, the resulting homogeneity of thought can stifle creativity and critical thinking. The diversity of opinions that once characterized vibrant societies is being replaced by echo chambers where dissent is minimized and conformity is rewarded. In such an environment, the very concept of free will becomes a rare commodity. People begin to accept the status quo because it feels like the only option available. The illusion of choice is maintained by presenting a narrow range of alternatives, all of which are designed to keep you in the loop without challenging the underlying system. Yet, amidst this overwhelming control, there remains a flicker of resistance. There are those who have become aware of the subtle forces shaping their behavior and have started to push back. A growing number of individuals are seeking to reclaim their autonomy by deliberately stepping away from the constant digital bombardment. They are turning to practices like digital detoxes, mindfulness, and alternative media sources in an effort to reconnect with their inner voice. These efforts serve as a reminder that while modern manipulation techniques are powerful, they are not insurmountable. The human spirit, with its innate capacity for self-awareness and resilience, can still find ways to break free from the illusion of free will. The challenge, then, is to recognize the ways in which modern society has commodified freedom and to develop strategies for reclaiming it. It means becoming critical of the content you consume, questioning the motives behind the messages you receive, and taking deliberate steps to ensure that your decisions reflect your true desires rather than those imposed on you by external forces. It also means advocating for greater transparency in how data is collected and used, and pushing back against the normalization of manipulative technologies that prioritize profit over genuine human connection. Ultimately, the illusion of free will in our modern era is not a natural state. It is the product of decades of technological advancement and sophisticated marketing techniques that have learned to exploit our psychological vulnerabilities. By understanding these mechanisms and acknowledging the ways in which they influence our behavior, we can begin to chip away at the facade. The journey toward true autonomy starts with awareness. By questioning every click, every notification, and every tailored ad, we can reclaim a measure of control over our lives. In a world where every decision seems to be pre-packaged and pre-approved by algorithms, the act of critical thinking becomes a radical form of resistance. It's about daring to ask, why am I being shown this? And who benefits from my attention? Each time you challenge the narrative or seek out alternative perspectives, you take a small step toward dismantling the control structures that have been built around you. This is the essence of reclaiming free will in a digital age. A commitment to remaining curious, skeptical, and, above all, true to yourself. As we move forward, it's important to remember that the battle for free will is not fought solely on the digital front. It extends to every corner of our lives, from the products we buy and the information we consume to the very way we interact with the world around us. The strategies of modern manipulation are interwoven with every aspect of our society, but so too is the potential for individual empowerment. By embracing awareness and intentionality, we can begin to unravel the tightly knit web of influence and create spaces where genuine choice can flourish once again. In the end, the illusion of free will is a mirror reflecting the contradictions of our modern existence. On one side, we celebrate the idea of freedom and the ability to make our own decisions. On the other, we are subtly coerced by forces that capitalize on our deepest vulnerabilities. Recognizing this duality is the first step toward a more conscious, deliberate way of living, one in which our actions are guided by our own inner wisdom rather than the ceaseless hum of digital persuasion. Now, as we stand at the crossroads of technology and autonomy, the question remains, will we allow ourselves to be passive participants in a system designed to control us, or will we rise up and reclaim the power that is inherently ours? The path to true freedom lies not in rejecting technology altogether, but in learning how to use it mindfully, harnessing its benefits without falling prey to its manipulative traps. It means choosing moments of quiet reflection over endless scrolling, engaging in meaningful conversations rather than echo chambers, and most importantly, trusting your own judgment in an age where external influences are everywhere. The illusion of free will is pervasive, but it is not invincible. Each one of us has the capacity to question, to resist, and to reclaim our personal power. The journey may be challenging, but it is also a path toward a deeper, more authentic way of living, one where your choices are truly your own. And that ultimately is the most liberating truth of all. When we talk about the hidden secrets of energy and the ways in which it influences our lives, the discussion inevitably leads us to the fascinating crossroads where science meets spirituality. It might seem that the realms of quantum physics, neuroscience, and ancient mysticism are worlds apart, but over the past few decades, researchers have been uncovering surprising connections between the two. In this section, we're going to delve deep into how scientific principles, often once reserved for theoretical discussions in labs and academic journals, can help us understand the nature of energy manipulation and how our very consciousness may be intertwined with the fabric of reality. One of the most compelling concepts emerging from quantum physics is the observer effect. At its core, the observer effect suggests that the mere act of observing a phenomenon can alter the outcome. In experiments with subatomic particles, scientists have found that particles can behave in unpredictable ways until they are observed, at which point they seem to choose a specific state. This idea challenges our conventional view of a static, objective reality and suggests that consciousness might play a more active role in shaping what we see than we previously imagined. While it might sound like science fiction, the principle is backed by decades of experiments, and it opens up the possibility that our thoughts and attention could have a direct impact on the world around us. This notion isn't limited to the microscopic world. Many researchers argue that similar principles might apply on a larger scale, meaning that our internal states, our emotions, beliefs, and intentions could actually influence the physical world in subtle, yet profound ways. The idea here is that if the act of observation can collapse a quantum wave function, then perhaps the focused energy of our consciousness might have the power to influence outcomes beyond the realm of atoms. Although the exact mechanisms remain a topic of debate, the concept challenges us to reconsider the traditional boundaries between the observer and the observed. Neuroscience, too, provides intriguing insights into the relationship between our mental states and physical reality. Our brains are not static organs. They are dynamic, constantly rewiring themselves through a process known as neuroplasticity. This ability to change and adapt in response to our experiences underpins not only our capacity to learn new skills, but also how we form habits, develop perceptions, and even shape our emotional responses. Studies have shown that when we repeatedly engage in a particular thought or emotion, the neural pathways associated with that state become stronger. This is why it can be so difficult to break out of negative thought patterns, or to cultivate lasting positive change simply by reciting affirmations without engaging emotionally. In a sense, our brains are a living testament to the power of energy, where every thought leaves an imprint, altering the structure and function of our neural circuitry. In recent years, research in the field of epigenetics has further blurred the line between mind and matter. Epigenetics studies how environmental factors, including our emotional experiences, can affect the expression of our genes. It turns out that our stress levels, moods, and even our beliefs can influence which genes are turned on or off. This means that the energy of our thoughts and feelings doesn't just stay confined to our minds. It can have real, measurable effects on our bodies at a molecular level. The idea that our internal state can regulate everything from our immune system to our metabolism lends scientific weight to the notion that energy is not an abstract, mystical force, but a concrete, biological phenomenon. One of the most celebrated works bridging these domains is Fritjof Capra's The Tao of Physics, which draws parallels between the discoveries of modern physics and the ancient wisdom of Eastern mysticism. Capra suggests that while the language of quantum physics might differ from that of traditional spiritual teachings, the underlying truths are remarkably similar. Both point to an interconnected, dynamic universe where separateness is an illusion and where everything is in a state of constant flux. This perspective challenges the deeply ingrained notion that we are isolated individuals, separate from the rest of the cosmos. Instead, it suggests that our very consciousness is part of an immense, interconnected web of energy that binds the universe together. The concept of entanglement further deepens this mystery. In quantum physics, entanglement refers to a phenomenon where two or more particles become linked, so that the state of one particle is directly related to the state of another, regardless of the distance between them. Experiments have repeatedly confirmed that entangled particles can exhibit correlations that defy classical explanations. suggesting that there is a level of connection between them that goes beyond the limitations of space and time. Some thinkers have extrapolated from this that our consciousness might be similarly entangled with the universe, a vast network where every thought or intention reverberates outwards, influencing not just our personal reality, but the collective fabric of existence. It's important to note that while these ideas are immensely exciting, they remain at the cutting edge of scientific inquiry. Quantum physics, by its very nature, is counterintuitive and often resists neat, everyday explanations. Nonetheless, the parallels between these scientific principles and ancient spiritual practices are hard to ignore. For centuries, mystics and sages have spoken of a reality where the inner world mirrors the outer world, a place where your thoughts, feelings, and intentions can manifest in physical form. Modern scientific findings are now beginning to provide a language and a framework for these ancient insights. Another key aspect of this exploration is the study of consciousness itself. What is consciousness? Is it merely a byproduct of complex neural activity? Or is it something more fundamental, perhaps even a primary component of the universe? These questions have long troubled scientists and philosophers alike. Some theories suggest that consciousness might be a fundamental property of matter, akin to space, time, and mass. In this view, the universe is not just a collection of inert particles, but a living, aware entity in which consciousness plays an intrinsic role. Such ideas challenge the conventional materialistic worldview and open up new possibilities for understanding the nature of reality. Experimental approaches to these questions are still in their infancy, but emerging research in areas like quantum biology hints at the possibility that quantum effects may be integral to biological processes. For example, certain studies suggest that photosynthesis in plants and even bird navigation might rely on quantum coherence, where particles remain in a unified state across time and space. These findings imply that the rules governing the quantum world are not confined to the realm of physics alone, but may also have practical implications for life itself. If the same quantum phenomena that allow for photosynthesis or animal migration are also at work in the human brain, then it stands to reason that our thoughts and consciousness might indeed be intertwined with the quantum field. Moreover, experiments in meditation and mindfulness have begun to show that long-term practice can lead to measurable changes in brain activity. Advanced meditators, for instance, often display increased coherence in brainwave patterns, particularly in the theta range, a frequency band associated with deep relaxation, creativity, and a sense of unity. These findings lend support to the idea that practices aimed at calming the mind are not merely soothing, but can fundamentally alter the energetic state of the brain. By quieting the constant chatter of our thoughts, meditation may enable us to tap into a deeper, more resonant state of consciousness, one that is more in tune with the underlying rhythms of the universe. At the same time, research into the placebo effect offers further evidence that belief and expectation can produce tangible, measurable changes in the body. In placebo studies, patients who believe they are receiving treatment often experience improvements in their symptoms, even when the treatment is inert. This suggests that the mind's power to influence physical outcomes is far greater than we might have assumed. The placebo effect is a clear demonstration that our beliefs can trigger physiological responses, effectively harnessing the body's own healing mechanisms. It's a vivid reminder that the power of the mind is not something that can be dismissed as mere wishful thinking. It is a real, potent force with the potential to shape our health and well-being. One intriguing line of thought is that what we call energy in spiritual traditions might be understood in scientific terms as the interplay between neural, chemical, and electromagnetic processes within the body. The brain, after all, is an incredibly complex organ that operates through a vast network of electrical signals and chemical messengers. These signals generate electromagnetic fields that extend beyond the skull, influencing the surrounding environment in ways that we are only beginning to understand. Some scientists have even suggested that these brain-generated fields might play a role in communication between individuals, a notion that echoes the ancient idea of a collective or shared consciousness. Although such theories remain speculative, they serve as a bridge between the language of science and the language of spirituality, a bridge that invites us to explore the possibility that our inner world is intimately connected to the outer world in ways that defy conventional explanation. The more we explore these scientific explanations, the clearer it becomes that the boundaries between the material and the immaterial are not as rigid as they once appeared. The insights provided by quantum physics, neuroplasticity, and epigenetics converge on a single idea: that reality is not a fixed, predetermined entity, but a dynamic, ever-evolving interplay of energy, matter, and consciousness. This perspective challenges the traditional, mechanistic view of the universe and instead paints a picture of a cosmos that is responsive, interconnected, and alive with possibility. For many, the notion that our thoughts and intentions could influence physical reality remains a radical departure from everyday experience. After all, the idea that the mind could affect matter on a quantum level seems to defy the laws of classical physics. However, as scientists continue to uncover evidence of phenomena like quantum entanglement and the observer effect, the possibility that our consciousness plays an active role in shaping the world becomes increasingly compelling. It invites us to consider that the energy we cultivate within, whether through focused intention, meditation, or emotional awareness, is not confined to our inner selves, but resonates outward into the very fabric of the cosmos. This realization has profound implications not only for our understanding of science, but also for how we approach our lives. If our thoughts and emotions are truly powerful forces that can influence physical outcomes, then the practices we choose to adopt, be they mindfulness, gratitude, or intentional living, take on new significance. They are not just tools for personal well-being, they are methods for aligning ourselves with the underlying currents of the universe. In a world increasingly dominated by superficial distractions and quick fixes, the scientific insights emerging from quantum physics and neuroscience remind us that true transformation begins from within. They suggest that by cultivating a deeper awareness of our inner states, we can tap into a reservoir of energy that has the power to reshape our reality. While much of this research is still emerging and many of these ideas remain controversial within the scientific community, the ongoing dialogue between science and spirituality is one of the most exciting frontiers of modern thought. It challenges us to rethink what it means to be human, to recognize that we are not separate from the universe but active participants in its unfolding. Whether or not you subscribe to every aspect of these theories, the evidence is mounting that our inner world, our thoughts, feelings, and intentions, is far more potent than we might have ever imagined. In the end, the exploration of scientific explanations and quantum perspectives is not just an academic exercise, it's an invitation to reclaim a sense of wonder and possibility in our lives. It urges us to question the status quo, to delve into the mysteries of our own consciousness, and to embrace the idea that we have the power to shape our reality from the inside out. As we continue to uncover the secrets of energy and the intricate dance between matter and mind, one thing becomes clear. The journey toward understanding is as much about personal transformation as it is about scientific discovery. The convergence of quantum physics, neuroscience, and ancient wisdom offers us a roadmap, a way of seeing the world that is both profoundly scientific and deeply spiritual. It tells us that the power to change our lives lies not in external forces beyond our control, but in the conscious choices we make every day. And as we begin to understand that the energy we cultivate within can ripple out and influence the world around us, we start to see ourselves not as passive observers, but as active co-creators of our destiny. In embracing this new paradigm, we open ourselves to the possibility that every thought, every emotion, every intention, is a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. It's a perspective that empowers us to move beyond the limitations imposed by outdated paradigms of separation and control. Instead, we come to recognize that our inner world is a wellspring of transformative energy, one that can heal, create, and inspire in ways that are both mysterious and miraculous. So, as you reflect on these scientific explanations and quantum perspectives, allow yourself to entertain the possibility that the boundaries between science and spirit are not as rigid as they seem. Whether you view these ideas as metaphorical insights or literal truths, they offer a powerful reminder that within each of us lies the potential to influence our reality in meaningful, measurable ways. And in doing so, we may just unlock the secret to a life of greater balance, creativity, and profound connection with the universe. Let's zoom out a bit and look at the big picture. In our hyper-connected world, media, technology, and artificial intelligence aren't just tools. They're major players in the game of energy manipulation. Every day, you're exposed to countless messages that shape your mood, your thoughts, and your decisions. And these aren't random coincidences. They're carefully designed to keep you in a state of constant distraction and shallow engagement. Traditional media, TV, newspapers, radio, has long been a vehicle for controlled messaging. Today, digital media has taken it to a whole new level. Algorithms decide what you see on your feed, curating content that's most likely to grab your attention and stir up an emotional reaction. It might be a heartwarming story, a scandalous headline, or a polarizing political post. Each piece is designed to pull you deeper into a narrative that keeps you hooked, even if you don't realize it. Artificial intelligence plays a huge role in all of this. Behind the scenes, complex algorithms are analyzing your every click, like, and share. They learn what makes you tick and then serve up more of that content, creating an echo chamber that reinforces your existing beliefs and emotions. Studies have shown that as we rely more on these systems, our ability to think independently and trust our intuition diminishes. It's as if we're handing over our personal power to machines that know us better than we know ourselves. This is not to say that technology is inherently bad. After all, it has brought many positive changes to our lives. But when it comes to our inner energy, there's a fine line between helpful tools and manipulative traps. The convenience of getting instant gratification from your phone or computer comes at the cost of deep, meaningful self-reflection. Instead of taking the time to truly connect with your inner self, you're constantly being bombarded with stimuli designed to keep you engaged, distracted, and ultimately controlled. It's also worth noting that many of these manipulation tactics are not new. They're modern twists on age-old strategies that were used by ancient shamans and spiritual leaders. The difference is that today's manipulators have access to advanced technologies that allow them to reach millions of people at once. They use every trick in the book, from subliminal messages and advertisements to data-driven political campaigns, to influence your energy and guide your behavior. In the end, what all this comes down to is this. If you're not careful, you'll find yourself on autopilot, reacting to every little piece of content thrown your way instead of taking charge of your own energy. And that's exactly what the hidden manipulation is all about, keeping you in a state of passive consumption, where your inner voice is drowned out by the cacophony of digital noise. Now that we've explored the external forces of manipulation, let's talk about what's happening on the inside, your own mind and emotions. The truth is, many of us are not as aware of our internal state as we could be. We're often so busy dealing with the day-to-day distractions that we ignore the signs of internal imbalance. And that's exactly what the manipulators are counting on. When you're carrying around unresolved pain, suppressed anger, or deep-seated fears, it creates a kind of static, an emotional clutter that clouds your ability to tune in to your true self. This emotional clutter isn't just a personal issue. It makes you more susceptible to outside manipulation. When you're overwhelmed by negative emotions, You're more likely to latch onto easy fixes, quick affirmations, or shallow promises that seem to offer instant relief. But here's the thing. True change doesn't come from surface-level tweaks. It comes from doing the hard work of healing and emotional cleansing. Think of your mind like a garden. If you don't pull out the weeds of fear, anger, and resentment, there's no room for the flowers of joy, creativity, and abundance to grow. When the garden is overrun with weeds, every attempt to plant something new is doomed to fail. That's exactly why so many people find that no matter how many positive quotes or affirmations they repeat, nothing ever seems to change. The deep-seated issues are still there, quietly sabotaging your efforts to create a better life. One of the biggest tools of manipulation is the constant narrative of scarcity and fear. Whether it's fear of not having enough money, not being good enough, or not being loved, these narratives are engineered to keep you in a state of anxiety and low energy. When you're trapped in this cycle of fear, every piece of media, every advertisement, and every political message feels like it's confirming what you already believe. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, one that keeps you stuck and vulnerable. But here's the hopeful part. You have the power to break free from this cycle. It starts with acknowledging your own emotional state and understanding that true transformation requires confronting your inner demons. This isn't about blaming yourself or feeling guilty for having negative emotions. It's about recognizing that these emotions are signals, telling you that there's work to be done. And once you start addressing those deeper issues, you begin to clear the static, allowing your true energy to shine through. It might sound a bit heavy, but remember, every big change starts with a single step. Whether it's therapy, meditation, or simply taking time to reflect on your feelings, every moment you invest in yourself chips away at the manipulation that's been holding you back. The more you work on healing your inner self, the less susceptible you become to the shallow promises of quick-fix solutions. Now that we've laid out the problem, let's talk about the solutions. It's time to take back your energy and start living on your own terms. Breaking free from hidden manipulation isn't about finding one magical shortcut. It's about adopting a series of practical tools and techniques that empower you to clear out the clutter and tune into your true self. One of the first things you can do is revisit the wisdom of ancient practices. These aren't just old traditions, they're proven methods for realigning your energy. Simple practices like grounding can make a huge difference. Grounding means taking a few moments each day to really connect with your body and the present moment. Whether it's feeling the earth under your feet, noticing your breath, or simply sitting in silence, grounding helps you center your energy and push back against the noise of modern life. Another powerful tool is the practice of setting a sacred intention. This isn't just about saying, "I want to be happy," or "I want success." It's about creating a deep, emotional commitment to what you truly desire. In ancient India, this was known as sankalpa, a vow that aligns your whole being with your goal. The idea is to write down your intention, meditate on it, and allow it to resonate deeply within you. Over time, this helps you build new neural pathways that support your transformation. Mindful journaling is another accessible technique. Spend a few minutes each day writing down your thoughts and emotions. Don't worry about grammar or style, just let your inner voice flow onto the page. This process can be incredibly cathartic, helping you identify patterns and release pent-up emotions. Research from the University of Texas has even shown that expressive writing can boost your immune system and reduce stress, making it a win-win for both your mind and body. If you're feeling overwhelmed by digital distractions, consider doing a digital detox every now and then. Try setting aside specific times during the day when you completely disconnect from your phone, computer, and social media. This isn't about rejecting technology entirely. It's about reclaiming your time and energy so that you can focus on what truly matters. Use that time to engage in activities that nourish your soul, whether it's reading, taking a walk in nature, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of tea. You can also explore movement-based practices like dance or yoga. These aren't just exercises, they're ways to express and release the energy that's been trapped in your body. Many cultures have long used movement as a way to heal and connect with the inner self. Whether you're swaying to your favorite music or joining a local yoga class, moving your body can help break the cycle of tension and stress that makes you vulnerable to manipulation. Lastly, consider incorporating small rituals into your daily routine. It could be as simple as a morning gratitude practice, taking a moment each day to list 3 things you're grateful for. Studies from UC Davis have shown that practicing gratitude can even change the structure of your brain, increasing areas associated with positive emotions and creativity. These rituals might seem small, but over time they create a powerful shift in your energy, helping you build a more resilient, positive mindset. Remember, breaking free from manipulation isn't a one-time event. It's a daily commitment to caring for your inner self. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward reclaiming your energy and living authentically. It's about shifting from being a passive consumer of messages to becoming an active creator of your reality. We've talked a lot about how these manipulation techniques work on an individual level, but the truth is, the hidden energy manipulation secret has far-reaching effects that ripple across society, politics, and the economy. When our collective energy is controlled, the impacts can be felt everywhere, from the way we vote to how we spend our money, and even the health of our communities. Consider how the media and political narratives shape our national and global conversations. When fear and scarcity dominate the message, it's not just your personal energy that's affected, it's the energy of entire communities. Politicians and media moguls use carefully crafted messages to keep the public in a state of anxiety. This constant state of alert makes it easier to justify policies that concentrate power in the hands of a few while keeping the masses in check. When fear rules, we're less likely to challenge the status quo and more likely to accept decisions made by those in power. The economic impact is just as profound. In today's consumer-driven society, the promise of prosperity is sold as a dream that can be achieved with a few simple affirmations or a magic formula. But the reality is that this promise often comes with a hidden cost. By manipulating our energy and emotions, companies can create a cycle of consumerism that keeps you buying products and services that promise happiness, but rarely deliver lasting satisfaction. This endless chase for quick fixes not only drains your personal energy, it also contributes to systemic issues like debt, inequality, and environmental degradation. On a broader scale, our collective energy, when manipulated, can even influence global events. There's a theory often discussed in alternative circles that when a critical mass of people shift their consciousness, it can spark large-scale change. This idea is based on the notion of resonance. When enough people align their energy in a particular way, that collective shift can ripple through society and lead to transformative change. While this might sound a bit like wishful thinking, there's some scientific evidence suggesting that small, consistent shifts in individual behavior can indeed lead to significant societal changes over time. At the same time, however, there's a darker side to this phenomenon. When negative emotions and fear dominate on a large scale, they can lead to social polarization, economic instability, and even conflict. The same principles that allow for positive energy shifts can also be used to keep communities divided and distracted. It's a stark reminder that our inner state doesn't just affect us individually. It has the power to shape the entire world around us. The key takeaway here is that reclaiming your personal energy isn't just a matter of self-improvement. It's an act of social and political empowerment. When you work to clear your own emotional clutter and connect with your true self, you're not only better equipped to resist manipulation, but you're also contributing to a larger wave of positive change. Every person who takes responsibility for their own energy helps tip the scales toward a more authentic, balanced, and just society. We've journeyed through the hidden secrets of energy manipulation, explored ancient wisdom, modern science, and the insidious role of media and technology. Now it's time to bring it all home with a call to action. This isn't just another feel-good pep talk. It's a direct challenge to take back control of your energy and, by extension, your life. Start by questioning everything you've been told. When you hear a catchy slogan or see a piece of media designed to evoke a strong emotion, ask yourself, is this really coming from a place of authenticity, or is it part of a larger system designed to distract me from doing the hard work of real inner change? By developing a critical mind and a healthy skepticism, you can begin to see through the lies and reclaim your personal power. Take concrete steps to clear out the emotional clutter in your life. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, movement, or simply taking time to be present, every small practice you adopt chips away at the layers of manipulation that have built up over time. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Your journey is uniquely yours. Find what resonates with you and commit to it daily. It's also about reconnecting with others. Join communities or groups that share your commitment to authentic living and inner work. Surround yourself with people who encourage deep conversation and support your journey, rather than those who feed you shallow, surface-level positivity. When you build a community based on genuine connection, you create a ripple effect that can challenge the larger systems of control. And don't forget to be kind to yourself. Reclaiming your energy isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Celebrate every small victory, every moment of clarity, and every step you take toward living a life that feels true to you. In the end, every act of reclaiming your energy is an act of resistance against a system that wants to keep you distracted, divided, and disconnected. So, take a deep breath. Feel the energy flowing within you, and decide that from now on, you're going to live on your own terms. Your energy is your power, and it's time to use it to create the life you deserve. Thoughts and future insights. As we wrap up this journey, I want you to carry one message with you. You are more than the sum of the distractions thrown at you every day. The hidden manipulation of energy may be a powerful force, but so is your inner light. The same light that ancient civilizations revered and that modern science is only beginning to understand. Take what you've learned here as an invitation to keep exploring. Dive deeper into the practices that resonate with you, question the narratives that don't serve you, and remember that reclaiming your energy is a lifelong journey. The truth about energy manipulation isn't just out there in theory. It's something you can experience and transform in your own life. The path ahead is filled with opportunities for growth, connection, and profound change. And while there's still much to uncover about the interplay between energy, consciousness, and societal control, know that every step you take toward your own awakening makes a difference, not just for you, but for everyone around you. Keep your curiosity alive, remain skeptical of the quick fixes, and trust that as you invest in your own inner work, you're contributing to a larger, more positive shift in the world. The future is bright for those willing to break free from the lies and embrace the power of their true, authentic energy. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let this be the spark that ignites a transformation, not just in your life, but in the world. Reclaim your energy, reclaim your life, and together, let's create a reality that reflects the depth, beauty, and truth of who we really are.